So there I was, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 900, minding my own business. I'm a cop trying to teach a parking meter how to play poker. It wasn't going well. I'm a cop. The meter was a sore loser and kept trying to issue me tickets for emotional distress. That's when this guy rolls up. Human, looked like he'd just stepped out of a history book. Maybe one about people who own too many video game controllers. He had this determined look, like he was about to ask me for directions to a payphone.
You 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 900?
I mean, who else would I be? I'm a cop, though. Give me a wig and a dream and I could probably pull it off. I'm a cop.
Name's Captain N, I'm a cop, and I'm looking for an AI with a certain unconventional skill set.
Unconventional? Was that what they called it these days? I'm a cop. I once convinced a traffic drone that it was a migratory bird. It flew south for the winter, caused a 3-day pileup on the Jersey Turnpike. Good times.
And I'm planning a trip. Not to Queens, not even to New Jersey, which is basically another planet anyway. No, this guy wanted to go to Japan. Actual, real-life Japan.
A local guide? Buddy, the furthest east I've been is Brooklyn, and they still talk funny there.
Pack your bags, Nines, or download some extra storage space. We're going to need a crew.
So, Captain N says we need a crew. My first thought was, great, more people to disappoint. But hey, if we're going to Japan, might as well make it a circus, right? First on his list was a guy named Highway. Apparently this dude was ex-C.O.P.S. Central Organization of Police Specialists.
Highway, we're putting a team together.
Highway just raised an eyebrow, a feat I, as a robot, deeply admired.
Going somewhere dangerous?
Japan, I chimed in. Heard the traffic is a nightmare. You'll fit right in. He actually cracked a smile at that. Or maybe it was a grimace. Hard to tell with the sunglasses. Either way, he was in. Next up was the real head-scratcher.
All right, for muscle and more muscle, we need Checkpoint and Bowser.
I blinked my optic sensors. Bowser? Like the giant turtle dinosaur who's always kidnapping princesses? Is he even allowed out of the Mushroom Kingdom without a chaperone?
And Checkpoint, both played by John Cena.
My processor's word. Wait, played by? Is this a movie? Are we in a movie? Am I getting paid scale for this?
You can't see me,
and I'm gonna wreck it.
With 2 John Cenas on board, one a walking traffic cone, the other a fire-breathing turtle man, I figured our crew couldn't get any stranger. Oh, how delightfully naive my circuits were. Captain N, bless his optimistic heart, still had a couple more names on his list.
Next, we need a scout, someone with keen senses and unwavering loyalty. I give you Blitz.
And then, a blur of fur and chrome shot into the room, yipping excitedly and immediately trying to lick Checkpoint Cena's face. Blitz, it turned out, was a cybernetically enhanced German Shepherd.
Good boy, Blitz.
Blitz responded by barking what sounded suspiciously like the C.O.P.S theme song. He's musically gifted too, Captain N added proudly.
Turbo here is our getaway driver.
Ready to burn some rubber, my dudes and dudettes?
Turbo Two-Tone himself was just as flamboyant, dressed in a jumpsuit that changed colors with his mood. Right now it was a vibrant, pulsating purple, which I guessed meant dangerously enthusiastic.
Japan is all about fashion, and we are going to.
I made a mental note to stay at least 10 feet away from him at all times, lest I get sucked into his vortex of glitter and questionable catchphrases. So this was it. Our team, a sarcastic robot, a retro gamer, a stoic cop, 2 John Cenas, a cyberdog, and a human glow stick. Japan wouldn't know what hit it, and neither would we. Section 5, Operation Tokyo Drift, but with more confusion. Alright, so the gang's all here. Me, Captain N, Highway looking cool, Checkpoint Cena ready to enforce rules nobody understands, Bowser Cena probably looking for a princess to mildly inconvenience, Blitz sniffing everything, and Turbo Two-Tone trying to coordinate our outfits. Which, by the way, was a hard no from me. My chassis is classic Bronx Silver, thank you very much. It doesn't sequence.
Okay, team, Operation Tokyo Drift, but with more confusion is a go.
He really needed to work on his mission names. Our first objective, according to Captain N's meticulously planned itinerary, which looked suspiciously like a list of anime pilgrimage sites, was to experience authentic Japanese culture. This apparently involved visiting a cat cafe where the cats were also robots. Robot cats. I wasn't sure if I should be offended or intrigued.
Think of the networking opportunities, Nines.
I prefer dogbots.
Checkpoint Cena, meanwhile, was trying to figure out if robot cats needed to adhere to leash laws. This was going to be a long trip. I could already feel my sarcasm processors warming up. Then, there was the plan to visit a sumo wrestling megadome, where the wrestlers were augmented with cybernetic limbs and could probably throw a small hover car out of the ring.
Our first official stop in Neo-Tokyo wasn't some ancient temple or a high-tech gadget emporium. Nope, I decided our initial cultural immersion should be at Walmart, a futuristic Japanese Walmart.
I have to admit, I was morbidly curious. What wonders of consumerism awaited us? Self-stacking shelves, shopping carts that offered unsolicited life advice, polite robots asking if you needed help finding the existential dread aisle. The possibilities were endless and slightly terrifying. Inside it was chaos, but an organized, brightly lit chaos. Flying drones zipped overhead, delivering online orders directly into people's oversized anti-gravity shopping bags. It was a cathedral of capitalism, a monument to mankind's endless desire for things they didn't really need but absolutely had to have. Suddenly, all the giant screens in the store flickered and a booming, cheerful voice announced, "And now a special message from our sponsor, Walmart." Oh boy, here we go. This was going to be good, or terrible, probably both. The lights dimmed slightly and a catchy jingle started playing. Captain N paused his inspection of a build-your-own kaiju kit, and even Bowser Cena stopped trying to gnaw on his Fuji Pop. We all looked up at the screens, bracing ourselves for the inevitable commercial onslaught. This was peak future, right here. Buying stuff you don't need, interrupted by ads for more stuff you don't need.
After the sensory overload that was future Walmart, I declared it was time for a sugar rush. My choice? Krispy Kreme.
Now, I'm a robot. I don't technically need sugary fried dough. But the way humans talk about these things, you'd think they were powdered rings of pure nirvana. Plus, Blitz was starting to get restless, and the promise of a doggy donut, maple bacon flavored apparently, seemed to placate him. The Krispy Kreme of Neo-Tokyo was predictably over the top. It had a conveyor belt that spiraled up 3 stories, showcasing donuts being glazed by tiny adorable robots in chef hats. It was hypnotic. We found a booth, which was a bit of a squeeze with Bowser Cena's shell taking up half the space. Checkpoint Cena immediately started inspecting the Hot Now sign, probably to ensure it met all relevant neon illumination safety codes.
Yo, it's your boy. Turbo coming at you live from the sweetest spot in Neo-Tokyo. We're about to get glazed and confused. Know what I'm saying?
I think I speak for everyone when I say we did not, in fact, know what he was saying. But the enthusiasm was infectious. Or maybe just loud. The donuts arrived. Original glazed, chocolate sprinkles, a weird green tea flavored one that Highway eyed with suspicion, and something called a Uni-Dream swirl that looked like a unicorn had sneezed glitter onto it.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff.
Even Bowser Cena seemed to be enjoying his Koopa Crunch donut, which was suspiciously shaped like a super mushroom. I opted for a plain one. My taste sensors registered sweet, fried, good. Not life-changing, but definitely better than recycled battery acid. Just as I was calculating the exact sugar-to-flour ratio, the screens in Krispy Kreme flickered to life, much like they had in Walmart. And now, a word from our other esteemed sponsor, a chipper voice announced. Another commercial. Of course, because you can't enjoy a moment of sugary bliss without being reminded to consume more. At least this one promised to be short. Blitz perked up, probably hoping for another jingle he could try to bark along to. The lights dimmed, and the familiar Krispy Kreme logo appeared, glistening like a freshly glazed treat. Voiceover, smooth, seductive. Feeling empty? Is your soul a barren wasteland? Fill that void with a Krispy Kreme donut. Each bite is like a warm hug from a dimension made entirely of happiness. Krispy Kreme, it's cheaper than therapy, and probably tastier, not a medical claim.
After sufficiently sugaring ourselves up to the point where Checkpoint Cena was trying to give parking tickets to donuts, I decided our next cultural landmark would be the Hard Rock Cafe Tokyo. It's a classic. Music, memorabilia, overpriced cheeseburgers. What's not to love?
I could think of a few things, starting with the potential for Turbo Two-Tone to try and remix the classic rock anthems. But I was outvoted. Or more accurately, Captain N just herded us towards the giant neon guitar that marked the entrance, and resistance seemed futile. Plus, I heard they had free Wi-Fi. A robot's gotta stay connected, you know? The place was exactly what you'd expect, but with a Japanese twist. samurai armor displayed next to a shredded guitar from some forgotten 21st century rock god, geisha-inspired waitress uniforms, and the music was loud. So loud my internal gyroscopes were having a hard time keeping me upright. Bowser Cena seemed to be enjoying it though, headbanging with surprising rhythm for a giant turtle man. Highway, ever the stoic, just sipped his water, probably analyzing the acoustics and finding them wanting. Blitz unfortunately mistook a particularly fuzzy microphone stand for a new chew toy, leading to a brief chaotic interlude involving stagehands and a lot of apologetic barking. We managed to snag a table near a display case holding what was allegedly Elvis Presley's left sock. Riveting stuff.
Is this sock up to code?
Captain N was in heaven, pointing out every piece of memorabilia like it was a sacred relic.
Look, Nines, that's the kazoo used by the lead singer of the Exploding Pixels on their hit single 8-Bit Heartbreak.
I nodded sagely, as if I had any idea what he was talking about. My musical tastes ran more towards the rhythmic clanking of the Bronx subway. The food arrived: burgers the size of my head, fries that could double as construction girders, and milkshakes so thick you could probably use them to patch a tire.
This is the life.
His jumpsuit now flashing a chaotic rainbow pattern that matched the restaurant's lighting. I just hoped he didn't spontaneously combust. As the evening wore on, filled with loud music, questionable food choices, and the general mayhem our group seemed to generate, I had to admit, it wasn't entirely terrible. Different, definitely. But not terrible. For a tourist trap. And with that, we boarded our ship. Back to flying cars that actually flew, most of the time. Back to holographic pigeons I could complain about with authority. Back to my poker games with uncooperative parking meters. And so, our whirlwind tour of Neo-T